they would have maybe impacted the game if we needed to, whether it be from fullback or through midfield. But they didn't really have anything on that bench, that kind of says something about them, I think, at the moment.
Well, hold on. We did have Sissoko on.
All right, I knew that would come up.
I was
trying to avoid that subject.
So speaking real quick, speaking of our bench, Lamela comes on. Take it away, Kenny. I know you want to talk about it.
Oh, you know what? Everybody knows what I'm going to say. I'm more interested in the...
Fuck you, pussy.
I would title the podcast that, but there are kids. I guess my question... Look, I'm proud of the kid. I've always been proud of the kid. Even when he screws up, I'll make mention that he screws up. And I think Lamela is one of those players. Everybody wants him to be really successful, and because he runs into an injury concern or maybe has a little dip in form or gives the ball away at a crucial moment, it's hard to slate him a little bit and overlook his work ethic or his hustle or whatever it is that you want to say that he has about him as a player. To points made on this podcast earlier, I think he won a lot of fans yesterday. Maybe a lot of people that were on the fence or on the ragged edge, or maybe like, you know what, let his contract expire or whatever, sell him for $8 million or whatever you can get for him in the summer and just get rid of him. Sam, I know that you are one who goes back and forth on him quite a bit, and so your opinion means a lot to me in terms of yesterday. And look, I think that we are a big enough club that having a cult hero is not something that we need anymore to grasp onto. He's not a hero, and he's not a legend because of what he's done. Maybe to Fabregas in the past, and now to Wilshere. But you couldn't have picked two better players for it to happen to. From a fan's perspective, on someone who's a little bit on the fence about him, did yesterday change your mind about him at all in terms of what he is as a player and on the pitch especially?
I think where it made an influence on me yesterday was it validated the young man that I think he is. I think he's deeply passionate. I think he deeply loves this club. I think he loves playing for Spurs. I think he values greatly the opportunity to make a contribution. For a player, it's like little things, right? Like should he have done better in that situation where he was down on the left and he kind of rifled it wide? Yeah, I mean, it's like little things like that. Like he scores there, my God, how that changes everything. Or, Czech made a great save against him, so I don't think he did anything wrong with the shot that was saved. So it's like little things. Like I still have questions about his just greatness, if you will, as a player. But I think what he's been through and the character that he's shown, both personally and professionally, and he comes on yesterday and he understands the importance of that fixture, and he knows who Jack Wilshere is, and he doesn't back down one bit, and he's as nasty of a bastard as we could possibly want to have in a fixture where we desperately need that. Like you always talk about the soft underbelly that we've had in the past.
Yeah,
he was a nasty cunt yesterday, and he is our nasty cunt. So I love him, and I think that the moment. Like, he needs a break with supporters, and I felt like he earned himself one yesterday.
Great through ball for Dele Alli as well. One of the first things he did when he came on, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Through, didn't he?
That's right, he did, and Alli should have scored there, to be fair. Yeah, you're right.
He should have done, yeah.
Yeah, he should have scored there. That really was that well, I don't know who I mean, it was a simple flick, but he went with his right foot and should have gone with his left, right?
Well, he caught it with the outside of his boot.
He could have gone front post and might have stood a better chance, but...
Yeah.
Czech was outstanding for them. I mean,
he was,
really.
yeah.
Yeah. Some people were saying man of the match, even though losing effort. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah.
No, I just said or De Gea or
yeah, I know.
Van der Sar.
Yeah. Kenny, how could you knock Lamela? How could you watch him yesterday and question him and his just is he additive to us? Is he important to us? Is he the kind of player that we want to keep around? The last thing I'll say about him is I kind of feel okay. I feel comfortable saying the best of him is yet to come.
Yeah, and he's still only 26. So, I mean, he's just now...
25.
25, yeah. He's just now hitting, like we ever get ages right on the show.
You were talking earlier about Dembele and his contract. And Lamela's going to have a contract decision at some point. but I think Pochettino likes him. I think Pochettino will want to keep him around.
He's a fighter.
Yesterday when he came in, okay, he got a yellow card just a few minutes after coming on, and maybe there's an element of recklessness about what he does that he needs to sort of control in his enthusiasm. But I think he's one that we should keep, because I do believe he brings something to the squad. Maybe no longer as a starting member of the team, but certainly, he's one that we can call upon. And, look what he did. I know it was only Newport the other night, but he was a standout player. He took the game by the scruff of the neck. And when against Arsenal you're 1-0 up and you want some bite in midfield, then you bring a guy like Lamela on.
Hey, Ken,
yes.
not a question to us, but more a statement. Oside Hotspur, our friend Matt with San Diego Spurs, his tweet, I think it was a couple of hours ago, said one member of San Diego Spurs, so he's out in one of his own, quite rightly so, if we feel that we agree with his opinion. Thought Lamela's actions were so bad yesterday that he wants him gone from Spurs. Thinks Lamela put himself above the club. Anyone on here that dumb?
Get off. Go away.
Right.
Seriously.
Obviously, he doesn't agree with it. I don't think any of us agree with it. He obviously, whoever this person is, clearly doesn't get the history.
Above the club? He was basically wanted to lay down for the club.
Right. And
especially with the history of Wilshere and the comments.
Right.
Exactly.
Not to mention the fact that I think Barty from the Fighting Cock put a great tweet yesterday just about how real Pochettino is, and I loved his thread that he did because it's so true. I mean, he's the realest thing, the most genuine thing that's happened to our club in maybe recent memory. I mean, maybe even in my memory as a supporter. I mean, he really is. He leaves himself out there. He's passionate. He's kind of a guy that sort of dies on the cross, and he wants players to do that as well. And to Vass's point about getting a yellow early, which could be reckless, I mean, Poch really kind of demands that kind of riding of the fine line by players, right? That kind of controlled aggression and knowing when to kind of, let off the gas a little bit and that passion. And I just, you think of you draw up a player that he would want playing for him. And I think the attitude that Lamela has at least displayed recently seems to be kind of picture perfect.
Yeah, Tim, I think one of the things about this, too, that speaks more than just the actions yesterday is you look at this run of fixtures we had and how important a month ago we were talking about, February is going to be a big month. And even before Christmas, we were looking ahead to these fixtures. If I'm not mistaken, in every one of these fixtures, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Lamela was the first person off the bench. And as you go into a Champions League week against Juventus, he's got history there. Roma and Juventus are the Arsenal and Tottenham of Serie A. So
I wouldn't say that. Roma and Juve? No, it's Roma and Lazio. That's the derby.
But I mean, I'm talking again. Yeah, from a derby standpoint, yes. From a we're going to take the title standpoint, Inter's kind of been insignificant since 11-12 until just recently. But these are the two that battle it out every year. It seems like for that title. So Roma and Juventus, they have a long history. Is Lamela maybe going to be also the first choice? And oh, by the way, Newcastle just beat United 1-0. Love it.
Yes.
Bouncing up and down.
It was squeaky bum.
It was
right
too.
At the end. It was like
that's all I can do
yesterday.
to talk.
Oh my God!
So great.
Anyway,
fuck yes.
And Newcastle, just like that, jumps up to 13th in the table. Wow.
Well, looking for a Southampton win now as well.
Yeah, this is good for us. And you're
Chase
right,
for second.
If even a draw at St. Mary's will be a cracking result for us.
Yeah. So I guess back to my point, Tim. The
St. Mary's.
Yeah, the Southampton-Liverpool match.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
So
Sorry,
the question, I
on,
guess,
Ken.
Tim, is, and you're fine. The question, I guess, Tim, is Lamela that cog? Is he our impact sub that can either, A, give you the offensive prowess, or B, give you that defensive prowess as well, kind of from the midfield and from the wing?
Yeah. I mean, the short answer is yes. He is that impact sub, both offensively and defensively, because he plays with so much energy and so much heart. If he was a consistent starter, I'd be concerned about how many times he gets sent off for double yellows. because he does play reckless, but when he comes on as a sub, it's okay for him to come in and put that hard foul on a player and reset, the energy in the game. He brings that to it. And I think just moving forward with him, I'd love him to stay. It's more so on what is he willing to accept, because at this point, I don't know if he's going to break in to be a consistent starter in our starting 11. I don't think he's going to break ahead of Son, Eriksson, Ali. I don't know what Lucas is going to do for us. We haven't seen him play yet, but he has the quality. So there's a lot of quality in there at that attacking midfield role or as a winger role. And so for Lamela moving forward, is he okay with staying with the club, being, the first sub off the bench, playing in cup matches, or does he want to leave and go be a full-time starter back in Serie A?
But Tim,
that's really is. It's on him, but I want him to stay, and I would love him to stay as that impact sub role because I think he plays it very, very well.
But
What's up, Sammy?
As a player, do you think that he believes that if he's worthy of starting in front of all of those players that you mentioned, the talent that we have, you think if he shows it on the training field and he shows it in his substitute performances, do you think that he believes that he's playing for a manager that would give him a shot?
Yes, 100%. I mean, we've seen it many times. If you perform, you're going to get the start with Pochettino. I mean, look how many times Sissoko plays. How many times he has played for us. He's obviously performing in training for Poch to keep selecting him. Maybe it doesn't always show in the games, but I think it's more Poch is rewarding him for the effort he's putting in training. That's the only thing, that's the only thing it can really come down to for why Sissoko has played so much for us, because it's not coming through in games. So, yes, if Lamela shows it, if he's progressing, if he beats out someone, he is going to get the start with Pochettino.
I think that's a very valid point. That's a good shout. I guess the hard part, too, is Pochettino's obviously not going to let him walk for nothing. And I think maybe some of the contract talk maybe stirs around what his role will be. Can you stay healthy? I will help you with that. I'm not going to start you a whole bunch of times, and I'm going to give you every opportunity to be successful as a substitution. I'm going to keep you in the first team. Sam, that's got to be kind of like a little bit of a call that Poch has to make. From a managerial point of view, everybody talks about Toby's contract. He still has 3 years left on it or whatever it is. This is one of those things that, okay, what kind of a manager are you? From a financial standpoint, a club interest standpoint, a player interest standpoint, this is going to be a big decision for Pochettino.
I think we're in a great spot with him. You know what the big irony is about Lamela is that he's probably worth more than what we paid for him. One of the biggest knocks on him is the fact that he was a record signing, and he came in at a time, obviously, with the bail money and all that pressure, and that's always been sort of the anchor around his throat. Is that he's supposed to be this mercurial player because we set a transfer fee record for him. Well, the irony is here we are, 4 or 5 years later. If we sold him today, he's probably worth more than that, right? So we're in a great spot with him, and we have nothing but optionality on our side. We've got almost half a season left to see what he does. He's coming off an injury, unless he just does terrible between now and then, which I doubt very seriously he will. I think I think worst he'll probably have a modestly good run in. I think we're in a great spot with him, and I think that I don't think that he gave up on the club, and I don't think the club gave up on him. I think there's a lot of loyalty. I think Poch likes him. I think they're very close. I just think that we hold all the cards here.
Yeah.
And I think just the really, really good thing is that after something like yesterday, he's got, and this is a kid that deserves support. He's been through a lot. I think our supporters now give him more time, give him more love, give him more support. And my sense is that's only going to help him.
I think that's a great shout, too. Let's move away from this. Again, Spurs 1, Arsenal 0. Can't be any more happy, and we're getting good results around the league to compound the joy that we are feeling as Tottenham fans going into this week of Champions League matches. But we are going to move on. Simon's five-a-side trivia, Sam's favorite part of the show.
God, I'm leaving. All right. Get in there, son.
Simon, it's all you.
All right, Kenny, since we took some flack for you gaining some points yesterday, Tim was extremely unhappy.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit.
No, it was real close. I got 6 points.